Ryan, I will say, just to be honest, the last maybe 24 hours or so, whiplash inducing, just based on the back and forth.
It's been a whirlwind, and where to begin? There's been a very complicated legal history here. The law was blocked, and then the block was blocked, and then the block to the block to the block was blocked.
Right.
But just to spare everybody the legalese, here's really why we're following this so closely. This is a novel, unprecedented law that could upend the balance of power between states and the federal government to enforce immigration law. The core question here is ultimately whether Texas can unilaterally enforce immigration law by arresting and ultimately deporting people they suspect of crossing into Texas illegally. There's been 150 years of precedent that has said repeatedly international questions like that are the sole responsibility of the federal government. Texas is arguing that the federal government is not doing that job, and they assert their power to step in their absence. That is a big legal question that's going to be answered down the line, but for now, it's just a back and forth of whether the law can be in place.
Part of what we were discussing is that this legal back and forth, this confusion that has happened in the last couple of days, is all part of this effort.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Governor Abbott called it a tennis match going back and forth at a speech he gave earlier today. But it's not unintended. This is exactly what the lawmakers who wrote this law intended. And that is not speculation. That's what the lawmakers have told me. There's longstanding precedent that the Supreme Court has decided that says the federal government has that responsibility over border law. Texas wants to change that, so they crafted this law in a way that intends to go back to the Supreme Court, and hopefully with a more conservative court, they can change that precedent and win back some of that power to police immigration themselves.
Of course, we're going to have to see where this all leads. It seems like the road will go all the way back to the Supreme Court. Now, immigration advocates, civil rights groups, they have pointed out that SB 4, there are concerns about due process and possibly it leading to racial profiling. How did the state respond to those concerns?
Right. So under this law, you can be arrested under the suspicion of having crossed into Texas illegally between a port of entry. Crucially, this is not a law that only applies on the border or near it. You could be arrested in Amarillo for this if there is a suspicion and a probable cause that an officer believes you may not be here legally. That's something I think people miss. It's not just a law that affects the border. This is statewide. The concern that some people raise is, well, how do you prove that somebody's here illegally? Does that open the door to a certain amount of racial profiling? And ultimately, there is a due process involved. Before Texas orders you out of the country, you would go in front of a magistrate judge and have the chance to prove whether you are here legally. But at the end of the day, when you empower so many local and state police with this broad authority to judge whether somebody may or may not be here illegally, it could open the door to some rights being violated. And that's why civil rights groups joined the Biden administration in suing over this in the first place.
The drama is not over just yet, and I know, Ryan, you'll be following it all along the way, so we appreciate it.
Hopefully not for too much longer. But again, we'll get some answers to those big questions probably in front of the Supreme Court, and that is going to make all the difference.
We'll be following it. Ryan, Chandler, thank you so much again.
Thank you.